Yo guys, what's up and welcome back to Marvelous Chats. My name is Finto. In this video, I'm joined by Alex, aka Zaberwolf, and we're going to be talking about a lot of the DC news that came out this week. So, we're primarily a Marvel channel, a Marvelous channel, but there was so much DC news that I feel like we need to make a video about it. I'm a big DC fan. I know Alex isn't really a DC fan. Hoffman, who usually joins us here on the channel as well, he's a bit busy this week, so he's not here at the moment, but he's a pretty big fan, but he very easily shits all over DC. So I was like, let's make a video when he's not here. No, I'm joking. But basically, yeah, there's been a lot of news this week. Some big stuff has happened in DC, so I thought let's make a video about it and just kind of see. I want to see what you think about all this stuff. So, for anybody who doesn't know, there was meant to be a Batgirl movie that's finished filming. It's like going through the final editing process and so on. It was going to be released directly onto HBO Max, and basically Zaslav, the guy who's running the Discovery and Warner Brothers now, he basically saw this film and he said, no, I don't like it, we're not releasing it. I'll take a $90 million hit on this film and just say, that's it, it's dead, it's never coming out. And basically, you know, this news dropped during the week. I think like some news outlets and stuff picked up the story before even some of the actors and some of the directors, and started posting it around. So like the New York Post, I think, put something up about it, and it was just like, what is this? Can't be real, this has to be fake. And then it started kind of trickling out from reliable sources, and it's just like, wow, what the hell happened there? So people were waiting. There was like an investor meeting on during this Thursday just gone, and basically Zaslav, the main dude, was asked about it. They're straight out like, what happened with Batgirl? Basically, he said, we watched this movie. This movie does not meet the criteria of, or like the quality that we want to present for DC going forward. He's like, we realize that DC is such a big IP. It's such an important, like, it's got some of the most well-known characters on Earth. You know, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and he goes on to list a few others as well. And he's like, these are such like household names that we want to put as much time, effort, and money into this as we can, just to get these back to being box office smashes. So like, off the bat, I'm thinking like, you know, very sad for all these people who made this movie. You know, all the actors and actresses. You know, Michael Keaton was meant to be in this film, reprising his role as Batman. And, you know, that doesn't really make any sense right now because the Flash movie was meant to be out already and we were meant to see him kind of return. But then it's like, why is he in Batgirl when the Flash hasn't even come out yet? And I think they would plan to release it as a theatrical release, and then they changed their mind and they were like, oh, we're going to let it go straight to streaming. And now they've just said, no, we're axing it. That's it. It's done. So now, as well, I think we heard last week, and we spoke about this in the last podcast, but Ben Affleck is officially reprising his role in Aquaman 2. So it's like, basically what's happening there is because of all of the stuff that's happened with the Flash movie and Ezra Miller in real life, now they've like delayed, and they're probably going to cancel that movie as well. Affleck has said, look, I'll step in. We can reshoot all the Batman scenes that, because obviously Michael Keaton was meant to be appearing in Aquaman 2 as well, but now it's just like, okay, now it doesn't make any sense because Aquaman 2 is going to come out first now rather than coming out third in that lineup. And now basically they're saying that he's going to reprise his role as Batman, kind of do a step-in role and kind of make more sense of it and have a different Bruce Wayne there, which is, for me, it's great. I love Ben Affleck. I love him as Batman. I love Henry Cavill as Superman. I would love to see like some of these Snyderverse people back. You know, like people say the Snyderverse is dead. I'm like, how is it dead? You know, the Wonder Woman from Snyderverse is still in existence and making a new movie. Aquaman is still making movies. You know what I mean? It's like Cavill wants to be Superman. He, like, you know, he's just waiting for the opportunity. It's like they're using so many people from the Snyderverse. It's like, how can you say that universe is dead? I don't know. It makes no sense. But basically, just to kind of wrap up the little rant, that Warner Brothers now and Discovery. So this dude, Zaslav, is like, he's putting so much time and effort into DC now, which I think is obviously a great thing. What this means, who knows? He mentioned on this investor call that they have a 10-year plan for DC now, and they want to kind of replicate what the MCU is doing. He mentioned Kevin Feige on the call. He's like, we want to kind of go down this route, the route that like Bob Iger and all these guys over at Marvel did, and just basically the success story that they've had. They were like, we want to replicate it. We've got great household names like the Flash and so on, and they want to actually like make up a movie universe themselves, but they want to do it right over a 10-year period. Do you think that that means full blown reboot? What do you think it means? Like, you know, I'd love to hear what you think of all this.
I really think it does mean full blown reboot. I think that there should be a reboot, especially if they're trying to follow in the same footsteps as the MCU. The only thing that worries me is how much of the MCU are they going to take in terms of the scheme, because what I love about DC, and I know you and Hoffman have always expressed this, is that they prefer to be dark. They prefer to actually give everything in the DC universe like a darker feeling and, you know, more realism in a sense, because they have these characters having to deal with, you know, killing a villain at times.
Yeah.
Whereas it seems like in the MCU right now, like if they happen to kill a villain, like they just kill them, which is kind of weird because you would think any sort of hero wouldn't ever want to do that, especially Superman.
Yeah.
But you saw in Man of Steel how hard it was for him to even kill Zod. He didn't want to kill Zod.
Oh no, sure, he knows that's the last Kryptonian. Like, you know, the second he kills him, it's like he officially is alone in the universe. Like, you know, so it's obviously
Right.
a very like serious moment for him. Like, but I don't know. I love that movie. I only rewatched it during the week, and I genuinely think it is a masterpiece. I genuinely think that Henry Cavill is the best Superman ever, and like these guys in Discovery who've just taken over Warner Brothers, they love Cavill and they want to do anything to bring him back. They say Cavill is our Superman. So I'm like, does that mean full reboot then? If they want to move forward with Cavill, like, I don't know. I don't think so. I think they like, it's like, we have a Batman that works. Ben Affleck, people love him. Everyone loves him. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, everybody loves him. I've heard. And like same with like Aquaman, we've got like Jason Momoa, everybody loves him. Like, so it's like the casting is actually great. So I don't know if they do like a kind of soft reboot in a way where they kind of just go back and maybe tell a different story, or maybe they just continue on and they just like change the direction of it. I don't know. Like, I think they're kind of silly to let go of this whole of all these great people that they have. You know what I mean? Like, especially if it's under new direction and it's getting as much of the care that they say it's going to get, I think it will be a good place to be. I know Ben Affleck said that, you know, he didn't really like working for Warner Brothers because he said it was a bit of a toxic environment and so on, and didn't like the direction of where it was going and so on. But it's like, you know, this seems like they're on like Cavill's side now. They're on Ben Affleck's side. So I'm like, if I was them, I would want to like utilize that, you know. So
But
like the universe.
I know you also.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, you go ahead and finish the universe.
The universe like is well established and well loved. Like, we saw how successful the Snyder Cut was. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it even won Academy Awards, like, because like the fan base was that like high for it. So I'm like, why would you kill it? I just don't understand. It makes no sense. And I think if you are to kill it, you need to do a full reboot. You can't even include Cavill. You just have to start again. So it's kind of just conflicting which way they're planning to go with it. Like, you know, because it's like, I understand if they just say, get rid of everything, let's just start all over again. And I think that's what they wanted to do with the Flash. They were hoping that, you know, Flashpoint would happen when Barry goes back to the original timeline. He's changed something, so he changes the entire universe. And it's like, that's a great way of just retconning everything you don't like and just keeping the bits you do like. But now it's like, I don't even know what's going to happen there now, because it's like so much in the air with all this Ezra Miller shit going on in the world. So it's wild.
Right. And with the Flashpoint situation, correct me if I'm wrong, but does Flashpoint lead into the New 52?
Yes, I think so. Or I think it happened during it, maybe. I don't really remember. I wasn't like collecting comics like singly at that stage. I have a lot of the New 52 run of the Flash, but I wasn't reading it week or month by month at that time. So I think it was before the New 52 that Flashpoint happened.
Okay.
But I don't think the New 52 was the result of Flashpoint, if that makes sense.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, that wasn't the actual event that caused the entire reboot of the... I think DC had just decided to reboot the entire universe. Like, it wasn't the Flash's fault that happened, like, you know.
Right. Yeah, but like for doing Flashpoint, that could give them an excuse to basically leave the Snyderverse like alone and just reboot, do like a soft reboot, like you said, that way. Or at least create a new universe, much like they want to create the multiverse. They want to do Crisis on Infinite Earths. I know that I've heard a lot of rumors about that.
I was about to bring that up. Yeah, so they like Crisis Event could happen, and if they do decide to completely reboot, they could bring people like Cavill back for a Crisis Event. So you know what I mean. You get the Snyder cast back in for like Crisis on Infinite Earths, which would be crazy. And I think Ben Affleck mentioned something about it. I heard like a rumor that basically, I don't know if it was meant to be at the end of the Flash or the end of Aquaman or something. Ben Affleck has a line where he like comes to Barry, kind of like a reverse of what happened in Batman versus Superman, and it's like, hey, Ben is coming back to the Flash. Like, you have to assemble us, you have to find us because there's a big event coming. Like, and it's kind of like a hint to Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Which is great because
yeah,
I think cool. that series was fantastic.
Yeah,
and I love that all the different clashes of heroes show up. Everything's just going haywire. They're trying to like damage control everything, and it's just going insane.
Oh, dude! Like even like the CW did Crisis. Like they did a massive crossover of all of their TV shows, and they did a Crisis event. And even that, like the TV shows were so poor at that stage, like they were really bad. But I just always watched them for the crossovers and stuff. And like, you know, you had an evil Green Arrow and like an evil Supergirl who were like a couple, and all. You're just like, oh my god, this is wild. Like, you know, because it's like a dude who you've been watching play the good guy for 6 years is like, now he's the bad guy. Like, you're just like, this is crazy. Like, so yeah, like stuff like that. I think DC need to just be more ballsy with this sort of stuff. Like, it's like you have the MCU doing their thing. Like, don't try and replicate it. Start doing crazy stuff. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, do some of the crazy, like, Marvel storylines, or sorry, the DC storylines that just, you know, wouldn't get made by Marvel. Like, do something different. Like, you know, there's, like, so many amazing comic book runs that I read. Like, there's a DC versus vampires run that's happening at the moment in the comics. And it's like, if this was a movie, it'd be brilliant. You know what I mean? It'd be like, you know, there's, like, someone, like, there's, like, a zombie, like, breakout. Or, sorry, not zombie. There's a vampire breakout in the entire universe, and it's like someone on the Justice League is a vampire, but they don't know who, and it, like, you know, you find out who it is, and they start turning people, and you're like, oh my god, everyone's turned. Like, it's just crazy, and it's like, who's left that's human? Like, you know, it's just such a cool story.
Right, but then you get these moments where like they're trying to appeal to the kids as well, and that's why you get the League of Super Pets.
Yeah,
which
that's fine.
I heard that
it was great.
It was fun.
I saw it. I brought the little lad to see it, and he loved it. I loved it as well. You know what I mean? I'm sitting there. You're listening to you're listening to Kevin Hart and like Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and you're like John Krasinski's playing Superman and stuff like that. I'm like, this is great. Like, it's so much fun. You know what I mean? And like Kevin Hart's hilarious, and you know what I mean. It's just it's a really good movie. Highly recommend going to see it. Yeah, 100%. But like, I think that's what they do. Like, you know, DC should, like, you know, the dark stuff that they do, like Joker and the Batman movies and so on, like they just hit so well that it's like, just go full send on it. Why not? Why wouldn't you go full send on it?
Yeah, because like we still haven't seen, and I know that we've been doing a heavy focus on Batman, but I would still love to see Mad Hatter. I would love to see Batmite just for the hell of it, just to see a Batman fan run around being like, hey man, I want you to like fight crime. I want to hang out with you. And then he's like, no, get out of my way. Stay away. It's like it's like so many callbacks to the animated series too that would like really appeal to the fans.
Hell yeah!
Like, imagine seeing Dollface or the ventriloquist. Yeah. Like, that would be so cool. And that's one thing that I really miss about, you know, DC and their villains, is that they don't show enough of it. They kind of really focus too much on Joker and the Riddler and Penguin and whatnot. And those aren't the only people that are running around in Gotham causing mayhem. You know, you've also got Solomon Grundy, Frost. You've got, you know, Reverse Flash at times will even show up in Gotham. Well, and
you know, the problem is that DC won't like just pick a lane and stay in it, and that's why none of this happens, because it's like every 5 years we reboot, and it's like, here's a new Batman, let's start again, let's introduce a new thing. So, oh, this is his Joker, you know what I mean? So it's like, we haven't had a time where there's been 10 years to grow a universe, you know what I mean? So it's like, we haven't had a chance to see all these cool villains pop up, because it's like, as you say, they have to do Riddler, Joker, whatever, Bane, any of these big guys have to like populate the first couple of movies, and then it's like, whenever they finish a trilogy, it's like, let's start again, or let's move in a completely different direction. So now the fact that they have a 10-year plan, I think, you know, come like year 7, 8, 9, we could have some crazy movies coming out for DC. You know what I mean? Like, I fully expect a new Green Lantern Corps. I fully expect like Green Arrow, Flash, Reverse Flash, Like there's like so much going on. You gotta have like Shazam versus like Black Adam. Like that has to happen at some point. You know what I mean? Like, and then the JSA is going to be developed. Blue Beetle. Like there's so much stuff coming out. Like so, like it's crazy times ahead for DC. Like I'm really excited. As a big DC fan, I'm very excited.
And although I'm not a huge DC fan, I am actually a very big Green Lantern fan. So if we get a reboot and Green Lantern comes in and he's done properly and we see the core, we see Sinestro, we see all that like pop in, I'm going to be so happy and I'll be all for it.
There's a new animated movie that just dropped like 2 weeks ago. A new Green Lantern movie. It's about Jon Stewart. I think it's called Beware My Power, I think. But phenomenal. I watched it. It was really good. Kind of like it just follows Jon becoming a lantern. He doesn't know what to do with it. He gets brought to like the Watchtower, and Green Arrow's there with Martian Manhunter and stuff. And Green Arrow's like, I'll take you to OA and you can talk to the Guardians and stuff like that. Like, and you're just like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like, it's so good. And like, it's basically a Green Arrow, Green Lantern movie. And I'm just like, as the biggest Green Arrow fan, I'm like, yes, this is amazing. So it's just so good, dude. I can't wait till we get a live action Green Arrow. Anyway, this video's been going on way too long, guys. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit like on the video. Let us know in the comments what you think of all this DC stuff going on right now. And yeah, if you want to check us out on any of the other social media stuff, it's at Marvelous Chats on everything. So we're everywhere. We're Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, the whole lot. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Have a good one.